is live now.
Good evening, namaskar, adab. Welcome to the Tuesday night edition of Big 5 at 10. Now, just before I came in and started looking at the camera, somebody texted me that it's Karwa Chauth tomorrow, and I was told by one of my loyal viewers that I should wish everyone a happy Karwa Chauth. So, folks, happy Karwa Chauth to you. However, the top 5 stories on the program, I'm afraid, are not really about happiness. As much as I try to bring positivity around us, I'm afraid the news cycle is only generating more and more negativity. What's the negative story number 1 tonight? Negative story number 1 is the complete collapse of Bollywood. Karan Johar, the man who has made it a mission of sorts to be politically correct, his political correctness has been beaten by those who were constantly targeting him for not speaking out in favor of Indian soldiers. Karan Johar puts up a video message. How is that video message being received? Story number 1. Story number 2. Hey Ram, Ram Naam Japna, Sara Vot Apna. Dr. Mahesh Sharma seems to be a believer of that ideology. That's why he went to Ayodhya today. To do what? We'll be giving you exclusive insights with our reporter on the ground. Doctor Death is our story number 3. Over 20 dead in a private hospital in Orissa. And this man, who happens to be the owner of that hospital, is not being FIR'd. Why is he not facing an FIR is my story number 3 on the program. Story number 4. Story number 4 is Hollywood's Desi girl. Priyanka Chopra now has her own take on who should be winning the US elections. Why is she commenting on US elections? Why is she not commenting about what's going on in India? We'll be looking at that story as well. Story number 5. As always, Cyrus Brocha's news that wasn't. He's got a special guest. Now I'll let you conclude yourself who this guest is. Look, name something like ketchup. Who could that person be? Is the last of our 5 stories of the Tuesday night edition of Big 5 at 10. All right, the big story tonight. He has been riled, criticized, taken to the cleaners, called all kinds of names over the last 2 weeks. What was his mistake? His mistake was that he took a Pakistani star in his soon-to-be-released mega production, Ae Dil Hai Mushkil. To silence his critics, now Karan Johar has done today what he's always done best, what he's good at, make another film starring his own self. Let's get you the 5 key developments on that big story tonight. In a video-recorded message, Karan Johar is now saying that in future he will not be casting any Pakistani actor in his movies since the circumstances have completely changed between India and Pakistan. Karan Johar is also saying that he respects the army, he condemns terror, and he shot his movie when the relationship between India and Pakistan were cordial. Karan is also making an appeal to theatre owners and parties to let his film release without any controversy. The Western Film Association president has told CNN News 18 that Karan Johar should actually delay his release as more associations will only end up joining the boycott. Shobha De, well-known critic, author, has also told CNN News 18 that the government has not banned Karan's movie and no party should now be opposing his film's release. All those 5 developments coming up after Karan Johar released a video message in the first half of the evening today. Here's Karan Johar's video message to his own fans.
The reason why I remain silent is because of the deep sense of hurt and the deep sense of pain that I felt that a few people would actually believe that I'm being anti-national. For me, my country comes first. Nothing else matters to me but my country. When I shot my film Ae Dil Hai Mushkil in September to December last year, the climate was completely different. The circumstances were completely different. There were efforts made by our government for peaceful relationships with the neighboring country. I would like to say that of course I will not engage with talent from the neighboring country given the circumstance. Over 300 Indian people in my crew have put their blood, sweat and tears into my film Ae Dil Hai Mushkil. And I don't think it's fair to them to face any kind of turbulence on account of other fellow Indians. I condemn any form of terrorism, any form, and especially the terrorism that would affect my people in my country and me.
So that's how Karan Johar decided to silence those who were openly questioning his silence. I must point out here that it's not as if that people were questioning the patriotism of Karan Johar. But what was going on was that a lot of Pakistani artists who were all coming on Big 5 at 10, who were coming on CNN News 18, were forever taking positions which echoed the sentiments of the Pakistani establishment. So the question being raised against the likes of a Karan Johar or a Salman Khan to an extent was that why is it that these guys are completely silent? One person who was certainly not silent is Ajay Devgan, whose movie incidentally also is coming up on the same date as Karan Johar's film Ae Dil Hai Mushkil was supposed to be coming up. And this entire controversy about film stars not taking position started right here in front of you in these studios when I did that tell-all exclusive interview with Ajay Devgan. Here's a brief glimpse of that interview that we recorded. Is Ajay Devgan saying that irrespective of whatever the financial come commercial consequences, you are not going to promote your film in Pakistan? You are acceptable with the idea of your film being banned in Pakistan because most Indian films are being banned in Pakistan, and you are not going to share screen space, any kind of artistic space with any Pakistani artist if the situation remains the same?
Not at the moment.
Not at the moment.
Not at the
You're
moment.
very clear.
I'm very clear.
Why?
I'm very clear. Only because if you go to think, who are you? You're an Indian first. Okay. Now, people in Pakistan, they have all come together. Okay. They have come together, as you said, that they have banned films. It doesn't really matter to me. My film doesn't release there.
So Ajay Devgan's position is clear. If there is constant exchange of bullets on the borders,
how do you expect me to, when there is constant exchange of bullets, when our nation is fighting and those jawans and those army people are dying out there or being killed and are killing, and I sit down and I isolate them? What are they supposed to do?
So you would be uncomfortable, let's say, working with a Fawad Khan?
I mean, I put myself in their place. Okay, I am fighting for you. I am fighting for you. I am fighting for my country.
Right.
When I'm fighting for my country, I'm fighting for myself, but I am also fighting for you, basically, to keep you safe.
Yeah, sure.
And you don't care what I'm doing. When you really don't care what I'm doing, what is my moral? Why would I fight? Why should I fight?
So you saw that date key that we had put up. That interview was done on the 8th of October. Here you are today on the 18th of October. Full 10 days. Full 10 days it has taken for Karan Johar, incidentally, just a week before his film releases, to now start bringing his patriotism and his nationalism before the country. So what is Karan Johar really trying to do? Now, Ajay Devgan was the first person, another big star of Bollywood, who also quickly decided to speak his mind out, and once again in favor of, I won't say the government, but the larger public sentiment which existed, was Akshay Kumar. Here's Akshay Kumar's take on this matter.
आज मैं आपसे एक स्टार या सेलिब्रिटी की तरह बात नहीं कर रहा हूं, मैं बात कर रहा हूं आपसे एक आर्मी मैन के बेटे की तरह। कई दिनों से मैं देख रहा हूं कि न्यूज में या फिर न्यूज़पेपर में अपने ही देश के लोगों को अपनों से बहस करते हुए देख रहा हूं। कोई सर्जिकल स्ट्राइक का प्रूफ मांग रहा है, कोई आर्टिस्टों को बैन करने की मांग कर रहा है, कोई डर रहा है कि वॉर हो गई कि नहीं। अरे शर्म करो। अरे यार, ये सब बहस बाद में कर लेना, पहले ये तो सोचो कि किसी ने सरहद पे ऑलरेडी अपनी जान दे दी है। 19 जवान उरी टेरर अटैक में शहीद हो गए। एक 24 साल का जवान नितिन यादव बारामूला में शहीद हो गया। क्या उनकी फैमिलीज और हमारे हजारों फौजियों की फैमिलीज को इस बात की चिंता है कि कोई फिल्म रिलीज होगी या नहीं, या कोई आर्टिस्ट बैन होगा कि नहीं? नहीं, उनको सिर्फ एक ही बात की चिंता है, वो है उनका भविष्य। और हमारी चिंता है उनका वर्तमान और उनका भविष्य सही होना चाहिए। वो है तो आज मैं हूं, वो है तो आज आप हैं, वो नहीं तो हिंदुस्तान नहीं। जय हिंद।
Now, just a short while back, I caught up with someone who's worked with Karan Johar in the past. The reason why Karan Johar has become the fulcrum of this entire story is because Karan Johar was the one person who took this position that actually terrorism and Pakistani artists should be looked at as two different entities. That's why this question was being raised out of Karan Johar, that why is he not speaking his mind out in the context of Indian Army surgical strikes across the border, in the context of the losses that Indian Army had suffered in Uri. Short while back, I caught up with Renuka Shahane, who's worked with Karan Johar in the past. Here's Renuka's take on whether she would be going and watching this movie Ae Dil Hai Mushkil or not. He is very worried that if his film does not release and if it doesn't get the maximum screens, the film will end up accruing a huge loss. Are these pure commercial considerations which are making Karan Johar now parrot this nationalistic sentiment that we're listening from him?
He cast Pakistani actors when they were being given visas by our central government. Obviously, it's commercial considerations which has made him come out with this tweet.
Is this great son of India ultimately only bothered about how much money he would lose if there was to be a ban against his film? And is that the reason why he wants us to believe his nationalistic, patriotic sentiments?
No, I think it must have taken some time to let things sink in, or maybe there were some backdoor channels happening. But of course, wouldn't it happen? I mean, if a person has, an Indian who has nationalist sentiments, has done something which is not against the law and is now finding himself in a position that he has to apologize for it, isn't it like something of a forced situation?
Right, so there you have some kind of an idea from big stars to yesteryear stars about what should be done by those who are still caught in that dilemma. Should you be taking a position or not? Now, the entire film industry we've seen in these last 2 weeks has been split right down the middle. You may ask, why are we hyperventilating and why are we outraging about the film industry? It's just a film industry. Why should they be held accountable? They should be held accountable for the simple reason that their counterparts in Pakistan are echoing sentiments which are being expressed by the Pakistani establishment. This is the story of our great illustrious film industry, which to my mind, frankly, is just about money. I have no doubt on my mind about that. Firstly, this camp. The camp which is caught in the middle. Then there is this camp, which I describe as a nationalist brigade. Those who say that there should be no contact whatsoever with Pakistan. This consists of the likes of Madhur Bhandarkar, Anupam Kher, Prahlad Nilani, Ashok Pandit, Ajay Devgan and Nana Patekar. Then there is a third brigade, which is against the ban. You could call them the peaceniks, the naysayers. Anurag Kashyap put out a huge Facebook blog. Salman Khan said that not every Pakistani artist is a terrorist. Then you have a whole host of other individuals, Priyanka Chopra as well, who's been taking positions that maybe it's time to make a distinction between artists and terrorists. So, take a look at some of the critical statements which have been made by some of the big stars like Salman Khan, Pakistani artists, not terrorists. Ranbir Kapoor, his movie is about to be coming, Ae Dil Hai Mushkil, so he wants to be safe. He says, I don't want to sound preachy and like a healer, talker, but we are living in some hard times right now. What does he mean by hard times right now? Only he would be able to explain. Then, of course, Anupam Kher, I think his political positioning is quite clear to all. If this is the state of affairs in Bollywood, and if these are the kind of comments which are being made by the likes of an Om Puri, a Mahesh Bhatt, a Prahlad Nilani, question is that why is it so difficult for members of our film fraternity to just speak in one voice? That's the only point we're making on the program today. Why is it so difficult? Is it unfair to ban them from working in India? It's unfair, says Bharti Singh. Kangana Ranaut, it's hard to be objective right now. I'm saying it's, if you're willing to say that it's hard to be objective, then take a position. How is that demand for asking Bollywood stars to take a position unfair? And then, of course, the cake rests with Anurag Kashyap. PM should say sorry for his Pakistani trip. Anurag Kashyap certainly knows a thing or two about how to be in controversy and how to ensure that his films, the opening day collection of his films certainly rises. Remember what had happened with Udta Punjab. The list goes on. You know, there is Kailash Kher, Priyanka Chopra, Nana Patekar, all of them coming up with their own versions of what's been going on across the industry. My simple point, as you look at all these statements from the Big B himself, who said that there is so much anger in the country, it's time to show solidarity for our Jawans. But even the great Mr. Bachchan, when he was asked that question very, very specifically, is he really going to take a clear-cut position on Uri or not? What had he done? He had simply folded his hands and he had said that, listen, I mean, don't drag me into this. And what had Anurag Kashyap done? Anurag Kashyap, he continues with one controversy or the other. He has stepped in to defend Karan Johar with a series of tweets directed to the Prime Minister. He's coming out with a clarification, and this is what his clarification reads. He says, I'm tired of the film industry being soft targets. They use us to sensationalize news. Come on, Anurag. I mean, for how long will this debate take place? And it's the Indian media, stupid. It's the Indian media which is silly, and it's the Indian media which is responsible for this entire mess. Now, Mr. Kashyap, the same Indian media, when it was speaking out in favor of your film, Udta Punjab, then you were very happy, then we were not headline hunters. Now that you are being questioned about why you are making these tweets and what's your real agenda, you go to the extent of putting out number of a poor IBN7 reporter, or just because she wants an interview out of you. I believe that Bollywood, frankly, its hypocrisy is being exposed day in and day out. And that's my first question on the program tonight. Has Bollywood's politically correct brigade, those who like to claim the high moral ground, like Karan Johar, like Anurag Kashyap, are they cracking up due to public pressure? That's my question number one on the program tonight. To answer that question, Ashok Pandit, joining us live, Meher Tarar, columnist and journalist from Pakistan, and Shalini Thackeray from the Maharashtra Nirma. Welcome to all of you on the program. Shalini Thackeray, let me just first begin with you. A lot of criticism being mounted against the Maharashtra Nirma Sena that you all have literally threatened Karan Johar into submission. You have forced him into submission. Is this Gundaism of the MNS which was at play here?
Namaskar. First of all, I would like to say good morning, Karan Johar. Finally, Karan Johar has woken to see what is happening around him. He has understood what is happening on the border, what is happening in the country, and hopefully, finally, he has woken to what the people's sentiments are. Today, Maharashtra Navanirman Sena, if it has taken a stand, it has taken a stand based on what the atmosphere, what the environment was, and what the public sentiment was.
Have you forced him into submission is my question.
That,
Shalini,
that is the reason that we have taken it.
Have you forced him into submission, or do you actually buy the justification being offered by Karan Johar?
Karan Johar has tried to prove his patriotism a little too late. He has been caught napping. This was the same Karan Johar 2 weeks back who stood up and took the side of the Pakistani artist and how art and culture is different from the country. Now, we didn't understand it, nor did the people buy it. Today, if he has been forced into submission, it is by public pressure, by the people of the country.
I'm asking you Gunda pressure. You know, because a lot of people on Periscope are saying that this is the Gundaism of MNS.
If you want
it's
to
the Gunda element of Maharashtra Nirman Sena. You all threatened him. You all threatened him. You all said, oh, your multiplexes are made of glasses and they'll be broken. So am I wrong when I use that word Gundaism to describe the approach of MNS, ma'am?
Yeah, if you talk about people's sentiments being brought in front of him and you called a mob, a people's mob, a Gundaism, then fine, let's look at it that way and say that finally you have seen what the people are trying to express.
Okay, Ashok Pandit, Shalini Thackeray says, good morning to Karan Johar. Simple question to you, Ashok Pandit. As a filmmaker, do you think that Karan Johar has actually made a short little film? This explanation which is coming from Mr. Johar, do you buy that? Is it just a film? Is it just a performance?
Bhupendra, I can't hear you. There is some problem with the voice. Can you repeat the question, please?
I was just saying, Ashokji, that if you buy the content of the message being put forward by Karan Johar, do you think it's coming a little too late in the day from Karan Johar? Is it just a performance, sir?
Bhupendra, I don't have a problem whether it is coming late or early, but I have some problems as far as the message is concerned. He says that I kept quiet because I was hurt that people called me anti-national and so on and so forth. What I strongly feel that is other way around. It's people who have felt hurt because of his silence. It's the other way around. And then he says in his entire monologue of his, he has not taken the name of Pakistan. He has not condemned Fawad Khan's silence. He's talking about 300 people in his unit. I'm telling you, out of 300 people, 299 people are with the people, with the public. that the Pakistani actors should not be there. But these are the same people who must have served tea, food to this Pakistani actor, and that Pakistani actor remained silent on the attack on India. So let us not be very emotional and play a victim card. The problem is that today in the video also, if Karan Johar would have openly, the way he is very open on his AIB roast, he is very so blank about it, he is so frank about it. Today also that frankness should have come. He should have condemned Pakistan. He should have condemned Fawad Khan.
Is he playing the victim card? Ashok Pandit, Ashok ji, are you saying he's playing the victim card? Karan Johar is playing the victim card, and Karan Johar's heart is not really with the Indian army or with the Indian forces as he tries to preach us in that video?
No. You see, being a nationalist and being with the security forces is his duty. You are not doing any obligation to the country or to the security forces. So it's not something very great about it. Every citizen is supposed to do it. So it's nothing very extraordinary. We are supposed to do it. So what I'm trying to say is that in today's video, you're just trying to play a bechara. Is not
Bechara.
Going,
is he trying to play bechara?
You have to. Why didn't he condemn Pakistan by taking the name? Bhupendra, I am saying this. Why didn't he condemn Fawad Khan today also in his speech, saying that Fawad Khan's silence?
But is Fawad Khan the symbol of Indian nationalism? You know, Ashok ji, I must also put this out. Who is Fawad Khan? I want to know, sir.
I
mean, why are we giving this importance to Fawad Khan? I don't know him. I mean, there are so many Pakistanis. Why should I be bothered about some Fawad Khan, sir? What cinema does Fawad Khan stand for? Tell me.
Not only Fawad, because Fawad Khan is a matter of discussion in his film, and he remained silent on it. And Fawad Khan remained silent on the major Uri attack. If you ask me personally, I have been always against Pakistani actors and performance being performed in India after 26/11, especially.
Can I bring in Meher Tarar? Can I bring in Meher Tarar for a moment? Can I just bring in Meher Tarar? Meher Tarar, there is Karan Johar.
The film should release. The film should be allowed to release. I, with folded hands, request Shalini ji to please allow the film to release, because it's a film made by an Indian, by the Indians, and financed by Indians. It's a film by India.
So, okay. Can I get a quick response? Shalini ji, are you willing to withdraw the threat which was issued by the MNS?
It's not Maharashtra Navanirman Sena. You have to understand that today the issue is not Maharashtra Navanirman Sena.
Then
it has become a bigger issue. It has gone to the people. Today it's the people.
MNS is responsible for pockets of Maharashtra. MNS is responsible for pockets of Maharashtra. So let's not completely confuse the issue and say MNS represents the entire Maharashtra state, ma'am. I'm simply saying that now that Karan Johar has put out a statement, are you willing to buy that statement?
Maharashtra Navanirman Sena stand is backed by the people of Maharashtra.
Will you continue to ask for boycott of Karan Johar's movie, ma'am?
Our stand from the day one was we will not allow Pakistani artists to work, and any film that has Pakistani artists in it will not be released in the state of Maharashtra.
Okay.
We stick to our stand. Today's this patriotic drama that Karan Johar has played out in his video, we do not buy it. People do not buy it. If somebody felt for the country first, it would have come from the first statement that Karan Johar made.
Meher, you know, look at the state of affairs, Meher Tarar. I haven't even asked you one question yet, and I'm seeing on Periscope, one after the other, people are saying, oh, Meher, we feel sorry for you, but I'm afraid the Pakistani artists, the Pakistani musicians who come on this program, Pakistani think tank individuals, generals who come on this program, nobody is willing to understand the pain that India is going through. Is that where the real problem is, Meher Tarar?
Number one, I condoled. I condoled the deaths of your soldiers. I condoled the deaths of the soldier who was beheaded in 2013 when people didn't even know who I was. Ever since I became a household name in your country, I've had so many Pakistanis question my patriotism, question everything. Whenever I've criticized my country, even in a neutral manner, I've got so much criticism from people, but I stood my ground. I will not let anybody in Pakistan tell me how much I love Pakistan.
But you're an exception. As I keep saying, you're an exception. Unfortunately, Ashok Pandit was on the program yesterday, and Salman Ahmed, who happens to be a member of Junoon rock band, Ashok Pandit simply asked him one question: to condemn the Uri strikes, and he refused. And he kept on.
I did.
He kept
I
on.
will.
You are doing.
I
I'm saying.
said
I'm saying.
it on-
So I compliment you, man. I compliment you. Maybe you're an
okay.
exception.
No, just-
My point is, why is it that on the streets, the general Pakistani public is a general Pakistani sentiment with India on the question of Uri strikes, ma'am?
You need to understand the only problem Pakistanis have with this entire narrative is that they think that each time something is happening, even when the operation, the terrorist attack is underway, Indian media starts to attack Pakistan. This is the only problem.
Why
they
is
have.
it about media?
Why
is it about media? I don't get this. This constant abuse of the media, ma'am.
Just as you have let Indians speak on your show, allow me to speak.
Yeah,
You can't. You can't do that. Even a serial killer deserves, when you go to a court, they do get a lawyer, they do get a chance to represent themselves. As far as Pakistan is concerned, Pakistan has always been blamed for everything. I do blame Pakistan for a number of its flawed policies, but I'm just telling you how people feel. Let me get back to Dil Hai Mushkil. Number one, during the worst period of Cold War, no artist and no sports person between USA and USSR were banned.
Fair enough.
They never ever stopped.
Can I just go back to Ashok Pandit for a moment? Ashok ji, is this the end? Is this the end of this entire Indo-Pak crisis in a sense which has been playing out between the creative fraternities of two countries? Is this the end of this crisis now with Karan Johar also saying that I'm not going to work? Is there a permanent breakage now? For some time, is there a permanent breakage, Ashok bhai?
I wish that's true. I wish that's true, and we don't have to continue, or that day ever comes that we'll have to be friendly to Pakistan, because Pakistan is a terrorist nation. Pakistan is a person who gives, who hides people like Dawood or Osama bin Laden and other terrorist camps in Pakistan. So we don't have to be a friend to those countries, So we don't have to be a part of.
Before we degenerate ourselves once again into rounds of denials and counter denials, let me thank all of you. I know, ma'am, you don't agree with me.
It is very unfair.
You're nodding your head in disagreement. I can see that again there'll be a round of denial and counter denial, and I don't want to get into that because far too much airtime is being spent in that. Shalini, Thackeray, Meher, Ashok Pandit, thank you so much for joining me on my first story on Big 5 at 10. Let's quickly move on and let's tell you where I stand. I genuinely have been concerned and I have been pained by what has been going on in this country over these last 2 weeks, specifically in the context of filmmakers, because I look at myself as someone who's not just passionate about Indian politics, but also passionate about Indian cinema. And I do believe that Indian cinema is very closely linked to Indian politics. Here's my take, and I want you to closely think about it tonight. In the past, Karan Johar has gone to politicians like Raj Thackeray, like Uddhav Thackeray, to make peace with them for the sake of release of his films. This time around, he was being questioned for his patriotism itself. Now, he may well have offered a disguised apology through that 2-minute statement which he put out, but how have we as a nation gained with what Karan Johar has done today? Are we not fooling ourselves by thinking that belittling a filmmaker is equal to belittling Pakistan? So for all my disagreement with the film industry, I do believe that we as citizens also need to do a good hard think about our approach. Let's move on. The second big story on the program tonight is coming from Ayodhya. Now, what's going on in this country is not just Pakistan bashing, but also an attempt being made by the Bharatiya Janata Party, by other political parties in Uttar Pradesh to rake up the Ram Temple issue once again. How were the last 12 hours spent on that specific story? Take a look at this.
राम मंदिर के लिए प्रयास होना चाहिए। ये लाली पापी से काम नहीं चलने वाला।
माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी का सपना है कि हम सब लोग मिलकर पर्यटन के माध्यम से इस क्षेत्र का रोजगार बढ़ाएं।
अयोध्या में राम का म्यूजियम नहीं बनेगा तो क्या बाबर का म्यूजियम बनाना चाहिए?
Every time an election comes, the BJP brings up this Ram issue.
Doing is laying the infrastructure for a future temple.
3 जजेस की बेंच थी, वो दूसरे डायनेमिक्स पे उनमें डिफरेंसेस थे, इस पे नहीं थे। उन तीनों का कहना था कि वो रामलला की भूमि है, आपको पता होगा। वो जगह रामलला की है या नहीं, ये चैलेंज नहीं होगा।
So all those developments coming on a day when the culture minister has gone to Ayodhya. And that is our second question on the program tonight. Ram in hearts, Ram museum on cards. Is Bharatiya Janata Party's Ram Temple slogan today just a mere pipe dream? Who better to answer that question than Dr. Subramaniam Swamy, who's been giving us crucial insights about the BJP strategy as far as Ram Temple movement is concerned. Dr. Swami, look at what Vinay Katyar and Uma Bharti are saying, sir. Vinay Katyar is saying, please don't, ye lollipop mat dikhaiye humko museum ka. We want the temple. Is the BJP, sir, are you really offering a lollipop, Dr. Swami?
Well, I mean, building a museum is an equally important part. I wouldn't say that it's something that is a substitute. When you offer a lollipop, you are actually saying that this is a substitute. It's not a substitute. Museum is going to be built on an area which is totally undisputed. And we need a museum. Later on, we will need yoga centers. Because temples historically, according to Hindus,
I know, Dr. Swami, you're always...
Just 1 minute, just 1 minute.
Yeah, okay, you complete your point. Sure. Complete your point, sir.
Temples are not just a temple. We have marriage halls in it. We have Sanskrit classes, classrooms. We have museums. We have all kinds of things. It's a place where people gather. It's a cultural center.
So, I'll tell you, you see, usually, Dr. Swami...
So, therefore, a museum is
No, I'll tell you the problem with even this museum theory, sir. The district magistrate, and I'm quoting before you, sir, the district magistrate of Faizabad has put this on record, saying that no such land has been acquired in the name of museum. No government query from the center has been sent to the state to acquire any land for the museum. So my question to you, Dr. Swami, is this. If the BJP was really serious about building a museum, would the first step not be to figure out how to acquire that land? You've not even started that process, and Union Culture Minister goes there, takes a whole horde of television cameras, it becomes a day-long event, and then he goes and he addresses a public meeting to say how Lord Ram resides in their heart. Ram Chandra ji to hamare dil mein rehte hain. What is this going on, Dr. Swami? Are you somewhere creating a smokescreen for people of UP, sir?
No, that you'll always say till it happens. When I first came on your channel and I said that it will be built, and you said, oh, this is your independent opinion. Your party doesn't share this view. Now, large numbers of party people are saying that you are saying, oh, there's being diverted.
No, sir, thank you very much. I must thank you for giving us a news break. You've been very candid with us on the channel, and I must thank you. You've kept us well ahead of the competition, I must say. But I must ask you.
I'm telling you, I'm giving you a head also.
What is the factual position, sir?
Factual position, and it will not change, is that Ram Temple can only be built if the Supreme Court decides on that case. To decide on that case, 6 years it has been pending. Supreme Court now has a duty to list it and hear it on a day-to-day basis, which will take no more than 2 months.
Seven judges of the Supreme Court, Dr. Swami, are now meeting starting today to relook at the Hindutva judgment. What is Hindutva? The famous judgment given by Justice Verma. Now, I'm saying, where is the space? It's got
nothing to do with Ram Temple.
But I'm saying, I agree. But I'm saying, where is the space?
That's got nothing.
Where is the? Would the courts have time? Would the courts have space?
Of course,
there
only 3 judge bench that they require.
Are there still judges?
There are enough judges.
There are enough judges.
And 7 judge bench need not sit today. It may sit next year. It is just an announcement that a 7 judge bench will go into it. Now, as far as this is concerned, it's imminent. I think sometime perhaps in November or early December, Supreme Court will decide to hear this matter. And then perhaps next year, in another 2-3 months, it will be decided. And then we have got prefabricated material, and the Ram Temple will come will get built within about 6 months.
So tonight you're giving us a full timeline. You're saying in the month of November, Dr. Swami,
yes,
you go to the courts. You say that in the next 2 to 3 months, the courts will decide that matter. And then you say you have prefabricated material which will be brought into Ayodhya, and Ram Temple will start getting constructed in the next, 6 to 7 months, which would incidentally also be the time by which there would be a new government in power in UP, I hope.
Yes, it will be a BJP government, so we'll facilitate it.
Now, you pronounce a verdict on Supreme Court, you pronounce a verdict on the elections as well, Dr. Swami. You're pronouncing all verdicts today. But
why not? I'm a Swami and a professor.
No, but I must ask you once again, Dr. Swami, because you know I'm hearing completely different views from members of the Union Cabinet. Either they're just being politically correct and they don't want to give the story, and I'm glad that you've been giving us the story.
Who briefs you?
Now, Dr. Swami, you're the person who's been coming on the channel, sir. So therefore, I'm asking you for the last time, sir. You're saying in 6 months' time,
yes,
in 6 months' time, you believe that there is going to be some kind of a resolution to the Ram Temple issue, right?
Yeah, That's right. It's a very simple issue, and it has already been decided fundamentally by the Allahabad High Court. There's only a few matters of law to be decided, and it will be decided within a day-to-day hearing.
All right, Dr. Swami, always a great pleasure to have you on the program. Thank you so much, and once again, thank you for giving us another big headline. Dr. Swami's third view, and I must say that whatever he's been saying over these last 2 weeks has turned out to be absolutely true, though I myself have often treated it with some cynicism. But it seems that Dr. Swami is the person who's been entrusted by the BJP with this task of keeping the Ram Temple movement going. Now, you've heard from Dr. Swami what's going to happen in the next 6 months. Our in-house cartoonist Nilab also has his own take on the temple controversy. Welcome back to Big 5 at 10, our third story tonight. The rather disturbing story coming from Orissa, where 20 people got killed in a massive fire that engulfed Bhubaneswar's SUM hospital. The question being raised now, in these last 24 hours, is what were the reasons which led to this fire? 5 key developments that you need to know. Hospital employees arrested in connection to this hospital fire. Sources are telling us that all major fire safety norms were being violated by the hospital. A criminal negligence case registered against the hospital authorities, yet the owner of this hospital, Manoj Nayak, not being named in the FIR. In fact, Nayak has been absconding ever since the FIR. So the simple question which needs to be raised tonight is, will someone be held accountable for this fire in which 20 human lives got lost?
Who should be blamed for this tragedy? Should the owner and chairman of the hospital be held responsible for this lapse? When CNN News 18 tried to reach out to him, there was no cooperation from the hospital. And interestingly, there is not much information available on any website. But we at Big 5 at 10 decided to trace the owner of the hospital, Manoj Ranjan Nayak, who now seems to have gone into hiding after the incident.
His house is locked. He has not come here since morning. That's what the security guard has confirmed us. And so Manoj Nayak is missing in action. And what our sources, top official sources tell us, that he might be arrested soon. And that is perhaps what he has been apprehending. And that is the reason why he seems to have gone missing.
Here are some lesser known facts about the now missing Manoj Nayak, also known as Manoj Ranjan Nayak. An engineer by profession, Manoj started an engineering college in the late 90s. He became an educational entrepreneur, setting up a university named Shiksha or Anusandhan. But Nayak's ambitions kept rising as he launched his Summa Real Media company in 2010. Today, he owns a TV news channel and an Oriya newspaper. He was also recognized as the global icon in the field of education in 2013 at the Showcase Odisha Awards. But the biggest question is, where is Manoj Ranjan Nayak and why has he not spoken out yet?
Right, so do send us your comments and your feedback if you think that that person, the owner of that hospital, should be the one who should be held accountable. Story number 4 on the program tonight is about our very own Desi Bollywood star, Priyanka Chopra. What is Priyanka Chopra up to in America? She's not talking about Indian politics, she's speaking about American politics now. Here's she in conversation with Rajiv Masant.
See, for me, who wins this presidential election is going to affect the world. And I'm very curious to see what America decides, because it's a reflection of them, of who they are. And to me, it's fairly obvious what the choice should be. But I think a lot of interesting things have been brought up in this election, which we should talk about as a woman, as an outsider, what it means when people travel across borders, what it means when you're in a completely different country and how you're treated or how you're looked at or how you're... I mean, I was an immigrant when I lived here before, and now I am an outsider who's working here. And how I am treated, maybe because I come from a position of privilege in a certain way, because I'm also a public person. But when I was in school, it wasn't the same.
Right.
What is the outlook of people? So those are the debates that have started, which I think is an interesting thing, especially about...
Okay, time now for us to look at what Cyrus has in store for us tonight. But just before that, who's the hero, villain and ridiculous of the day before I toss it across to Cyrus? Let's start with the hero of the day. The hero of the day is Gautam Gambhir, that stylish left-hander who's now openly asking for calling off all cricketing ties. Why should this conversation around boycotting Pakistan only be restricted to Bollywood? Let's have a boycott of everything. Why just restrict it to films? So, for speaking out, Gautam Gambhir, our hero of the day. Our villain of the day tonight is this man who's the owner of the hospital in Orissa where 20 people have ended up losing their lives. And this man, Mr. Manoj Nayak the Great, his name has still not been included as in the FIR which has been filed. That's why he's the biggest villain of this week, I should say. And ridiculous of the day is Melania Trump for trying to defend the indefensible. How can anyone defend Donald Trump? That's it from me. Cyrus Rocha coming up next. I'll see you again tomorrow night. Goodbye.